So writing the chemical equation and balancing it. So that is our lecture 2 for today. Writing and balancing chemical equation. Now, why there is a need to balance the equation? Why do we balance the equation? What is the reason for that? For balancing equation? Anybody? Yes, why do we balance the equation? Ayush, any idea?
It's not balanced, it's unstable.
Okay, it's not because of instability, but because there is a law which states that the mass of the reactant and the product should always remain constant. So it is because of the law of conservation of mass. So the need to balance the chemical equation, the need to balance chemical equation is because to justify the law of conservation of mass. And what is the statement? The statement is, it states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Okay. And total mass, the total mass of the reactant and product needs to be constant. So it is this reason we need to balance the equation, because the whole energy of the universe which is there is constant. There is never energy is produced, neither energy is lost. It is always remains in the universe. It can only be transformed from one form to another form. Suppose, let's say, if there's the fan which is working. Now the fan cannot work on its own. We have to supply electrical energy. So that electrical energy is being converted into the mechanical energy. Then let's say the remote control, the remote, I mean AC remote is there, or the TV remote is there. So we are putting battery. So the chemical energy in that cell is getting converted into electrical signals. So always it's the law of the universe that none of the energy is produced, neither it is destroyed. It is always getting transferred. And that's the law of universe, that if there is a death, then there is birth. It goes on. That's the law of universe. So over here also, when we talk about the elements or atoms, when we are writing a chemical equation, it should not be an unbalanced chemical equation. The equation needs to be balanced, because to justify the law of conservation of mass. So when we write a chemical equation, the left hand side of the equation are called as the reactant, that's the raw material, and the right hand side are called as the product. So just a basic thing, A plus B giving C. So A plus B are called as reactant, and C plus D are called as the product. A plus D reactant and C plus D are called as product, and both of them are being separated by an arrow. Okay, both of them are separated by an arrow. So please copy down this. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Please write down this, and then we'll go ahead for writing more chemical equations. Yeah, so whenever you write a chemical equation, it is necessary to balance it. So that will be helpful in your grades which you are going to go ahead. So from today onwards, it has to be a default that whenever you write a chemical equation, it needs to be balanced. So sometimes it happens that you keep on struggling in balancing the chemical equations, how to balance 5 minutes, 10 minutes, keep on going, and you just don't understand that how to balance the equation. So certain basic rules I'm going to teach you today, that how to balance the chemical equation, which makes your task easy. So the first rule, okay, the rule number one, rules for balancing chemical equation. Rules for balancing chemical equation. The rule number one is NLH rule. NLH rule is, the NLH rule is never lose hope. This is actually very, very important. Never to lose hope. The reason is, if there is an equation which is given to you, there will always be a way to balance the equation. But as I told you, that if you keep on juggling for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, there will be a time which will come and you will say, I don't want to balance the equation. So you have to be patient. You have to understand that how to balance the equation. So first of all, you have to stay calm. You have to be patient and you have to balance the equation. Second important rule is use always pencil first and then rewrite the final answer with pen. Now, why this is very, very important? When you are writing an equation, now the equation with the formula, it's correct. You have written it with pen, but now you want to balance the equation. So balancing equation is always going to be a hit and trial method. You cannot by heart equations like, okay, this equation is there, so this is the balancing. You cannot by heart. It's not some phone numbers. It is always a kind of a protocol. It's a method. So for learning the method, or when you are doing the method, you first write it with pencil. The reason is because it's a hit and trial method. So if you use pencil, you have a chance that you can erase it with, with your eraser. You can correct it. But if you are using pen, then what will happen that if you want to correct it, it will be kind of a scribbling. And if it is scribbling, means you are doing a mess. And when it's mess, so definitely you will not understand that what have you done. So always suggestion, use pencil. Once you are confirmed with the balancing, then just rewrite that pencil ka balancing with pen. Because if you keep it with pencil, then it will be counted as a rough work and it won't be considered. So use pencil and then rewrite with pen. Now let us understand certain rules. Now, there are various types of reactions based on which we have to just, we have to use different rules. We cannot apply one particular rule for balancing all the equations. So we have to analyze the equation first, depending on how the type of chemical equation is, and then we have to apply that particular rule. So let's say, suppose if I have a chemical equation where I have an equation with polyatomic ions, the polyatomic ions on both reactant and product. Means I have the same polyatomic ion. So to be precise, let me write equation with the same polyatomic ion on both reactant and product. Then I have metal in that. Then I have non-metal. So how to balance that equation? So order of balancing, the method lies in how to order the balancing. So the order of balancing is, you will balance first polyatomic ions, then you will balance metal, then you will balance non-metal. Non-metal also, that too except carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Non-metal except carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Then you will balance carbon, hydrogen and then last oxygen. So any non-metal other than CHO, you will balance that first, then third last carbon, then hydrogen, and then oxygen. So let me give you an example. So first, today we are just going to write the chemical equation and we are going to balance it. For writing word equation, then balancing, so that all we will be doing it in our next class. Okay, so today only I'm going to write equation and we are going to balance it. So let's say I have an equation as Na2SO4 plus AlCl3 giving Al2SO4 the whole thrice plus NaCl. Now this is my equation. I need to balance this equation. Now in this, can you see that there is a polyatomic ion? Polyatomic ions means it can be your nitrate, sulfate, hydroxide, ammonium, all that polyatomic ions. You have to take that as one single unit. See, instead of breaking S and O individually, you can take SO4 together as one entity. The reason, because that will make your job easy. So over here, the polyatomic ions we need to take first. Now, those who actually don't know how to balance the equation, or they are you guys struggle in balancing the equation, give yourself time, and it's okay to do rough work. So I'm going to do rough work over here. Okay, so do rough work. Even though it takes 5 minutes to balance first equation, it's fine. Initially it will take time, then once you get hang on to this, then it will take maybe 1 minute. So initially give time. So rough work, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make two columns, left hand side and right hand side. That is left hand side and right hand side. The first thing which I want to balance it over here is the polyatomic ions. Now I'm going to take the SO4 entity, that's the sulfate part, together. How many sulfate units are present over here, Aaron, in left hand side? How many sulfate units are present?
It's four.
Sorry, how many?
Four.
Yes, one. SO4 is only one unit, one entity. But on right hand side, how many SO4 units are there? Samuel, how many SO4 units are there in right hand side?
3.
Yes, so SO4 in right hand side is 3. So it is not balanced. So what I have to do, I will multiply the LHS with 3 so that my both side gets equal. Now, if you want to balance the equation, you are not supposed to write 3 over here. For balancing, whatever the number you are going to write, you are going to write the number in front of that compound. I repeat, if you want to put SO4 and you want to make it 3, you are not supposed to write 3 anywhere else, but you have to write that number in front of the compound. Okay, so this is 3. Now I'm using a red color just because that is my pencil. So I'm going to use, I'm using the another color for making also you to understand. Now after once the polyatomic ions is done, my next thing has to be a metal. Now there are two metals over here. One is aluminum and one is sodium. So let us take sodium over here. Okay, let us take sodium. Now, how many sodium atoms are there in left hand side, Ayush?
From what?
How many sodium atoms are there in left hand side?
Uh,
How many sodium atoms?
Mom, I don't know.
Huh? No, don't know. Okay, can you see 3 and 2? Sodium atom Na2SO4, and we have put 3 over here. So 3 into 2, we are not supposed to do 3 plus 2. So
Okay.
now how many sodium atoms are there? 6. Okay, sodium atoms are 6. How many sodium atoms are there in the right hand side?
Uh,
After arrow, it's my right hand side. So after arrow is right hand side.
So 6.
Where do I have 6 over here? in right hand side?
No.
So how many atoms are there? Samuel, it's one, correct? It's one, na? Is there any number
No.
before sodium? So there is one. Is my left hand side means before arrow number of atoms like sodium, is it balanced with right hand side? Is it balanced? No, it is not
No,
balanced.
ma'am.
So I have to make this 6. So I will put number 6 over here. Now is my sodium atom balanced? Now is my
Yes.
sodium atom balanced? Yes. Let's go to the next element, which is next metal, aluminium. So Huda, tell me how many aluminium atoms are there in left hand side? That is before arrow, how many aluminium atoms are there?
1.
1. Okay. And how many aluminium atoms after arrow, that is right hand side?
2.
2. So if I want to make 1 as 2, what I have to do? So I have to put 2 over here, correct? To balance my aluminium. Yes, yes, Huda, that's correct. Very good. And last one, non-metal, which is chlorine. Okay, so Charvi, how many chlorine atoms are there right hand in left hand side?
There are 3.
Now it is not 3 because you have already put 2 in front of it. So now it is going to be
6.
6.
2 into
Yes, and how many chlorine atoms right hand side?
only 1.
How
No, there are
one?
6.
6.
No, there are 6.
Remember, when you are writing any number before that compound, that needs to be included. So now it is 6. So can I say my chlorine got balanced?
Yes.
Okay, so now let us recheck your balancing once again. Sulfate entity 3 over here also it's 3. So check. Sulfate entity is 3, left hand side, right hand side also it is 3. So sulfate is balanced. Sodium 3 2s are 6 and over here also 6 sodium, so balanced. Then we have aluminium, which is 2 over here also it's 2. So yes, balanced. Chlorine 2 into 3, 6 and 6. Yes, it is balanced. As I told you initially, it is okay that if you spare 5 minutes, but if as you do 5 10 questions, you will get hang of it and it will take less time. So no worries if it is taking a lot of time initially, that's okay. We have to first focus on the accuracy, like how to get the right answer. Pace comes on its own. Don't go for the pace first. Okay, don't do things in always like in a faster way, like it is taking a lot of time. It's okay. When you practice, once you get hang on it, automatically the speed comes. It is applicable for all other things what you do. Whenever you are doing some new thing, focus on the accuracy, focus on getting the right answer, even if it takes half an hour. It's okay. But once you know the method, then it will take no time. Okay, so please copy this, and then we are going to do similar type of one more question, and then we'll go to some next rule. So please copy this. Copy along with the rule. The second equation, ammonium carbonate plus calcium nitrate gives ammonium nitrate plus calcium carbonate. Third question, barium chloride plus aluminium nitrate gives barium nitrate plus aluminium chloride. These are the two questions. So let us understand in the same way. Since we have the polyatomic ions, the same polyatomic ions which is on the left hand side, that is before arrow as well as after arrow. So we are going to first balance that. So once again, LHS, RHS. As I told you, if you are not comfortable, Do this rough work. Do this rough work. Okay, rough work. Now there are two polyatomic ions. One is ammonium and one is carbonate. In fact, nitrate. Three polyatomic ions. So what you can do, you can actually take anything, anyone, whichever you feel. So now let us start with nitrate. Okay, let us start with nitrate. Now NO3. Now how many NO3 entities are there? Amima, how many NO3 units are there left hand side?
3,
Yes. And right hand side?
3.
Yeah, right hand side is it 3? See, you don't have to consider this 3. This 3 is as the formula. Over
Well,
here, over here, is there anything? No, which means it is 1. It is 1. See, either it will be in the bracket like this, which will tell you that okay, there are 3 units. Otherwise, it will be a single NO3, which means it's 1 unit. Now, RHS it is 1, so we need to make it 3. So I'm going to put it 3 over here. So my nitrate got balanced. Now let us go for ammonium, NH4. NH4, how many entities are there, Nicole? How many ammonium is there? How many ammonium units are there? Yes, anybody? How many ammonium units are there? 2.
2, ma'am.
2 on left hand side and right hand side?
Ma'am, 1.
How 1? We
Oh,
have
sorry.
already put 3,
3.
so we have to count that. So it's 3. Now what is the common number for 2 and 3? What is common number for 2 and 3? Can I say it is 6? I want to balance that. So what I will do, I will multiply this with 3. So I'm going to
3
get
and
3
then
over here. And over here 2. So I'm going to get 6 over here. So what am I going to do? I know that this is going to be, this became 3 2s are 6. And this I have to multiply with 2. So I have to make this also 6. Remember, that is why I told you to use pencil. I'm repeating once again. Before balancing ammonium, I balanced nitrate. See, that's, as I told you, that's a trial error method. So you can take any ion, that's okay. So I'm using pencil. I first balanced nitrate, then I went to ammonium. I saw that there are 2 ammoniums left hand side, 3 ammonium right hand side. Now I want to balance this. So 2 into 3 is 6, 3 into 2 is 6. So I'll put 6 over here. Oh, sorry, I'll put 3 over here. And since already 3 is there, so I will erase this and I'm going to put it 6. So by this, my ammonium got balanced. By this, my ammonium got balanced. Now let us go for balancing. Let us go for balancing carbonate. Now, how many carbonates entity is there? Wait. I made a mistake. One second. I made a mistake in writing the formula. Just 1 second. This is actually CaNO3 the whole twice. So the nitrate is 2 over here. My bad. 1 second. Wait. I have made a mistake in writing the formula. So if your formula is wrong, your balancing goes wrong. So we'll start once again because calcium is +2 and nitrate is -1. That's why it is CaNO3 the whole twice. So we'll start again. How many nitrates are there? Left hand side? 2. And how many nitrates are there right hand side? 1. So I want to balance it. So 1 into 2, 2. Let me use another color. Yeah, 2. Then I'm going to use ammonium. How many ammonium ions are there left hand side? 2. How many ammonium ions on right hand side? 2. So ammonium got balanced, nitrate got balanced. Then I'm going to use carbonate. Carbonate as a unit is 1 on left hand side. Carbonate as a unit is 1 on right hand side. So even carbonate is balanced. And finally, calcium, which is 1, and over here calcium is 1. So even that is balanced. So that, because I wrote the formula wrong. So over here, one more lesson. If your formula is wrong, if you don't write your formula correct, your balancing will go completely wrong. Okay. Let us go to the next one. Next one, let us make LHS, RHS. So once again, since the polyatomic ion is same, we need to balance that. So the first polyatomic ion which is there, the only polyatomic ion is nitrate. Now NO3 is 2 as the whole entity, left hand side, right hand side is 2. So my NO3 is balanced. After polyatomic ions, which is the next one, what is the order of priority? After polyatomic ions, which is the next part, we need to balance. Yes. Metals?
Metals.
Yes, so I'm going to take metal over here. Let's say I'm going to take barium. Now barium is left hand side 1, even on right hand side it is 1. So my barium is balanced. Then my next metal is aluminium, which is 1, and aluminium over here also it is 1. And then going to chlorine, which is a non-metal. How many chlorine atoms are there?
Ma'am, 1.
1 nahi, Cl2 hai.
2.
2. And how many chlorine atoms on right hand side?
Ma'am, 3.
3.
3. Once again, I made a mistake. Aluminium is +3 and nitrate is -1. So I interchanged this. Sorry. So again, this balancing is wrong. I interchanged calcium nitrate and aluminium nitrate formula. So once again, formula wrong, balancing wrong. So let us balance it once again. Sorry. Nitrate, how many atoms are there in left hand side? 3. How many atoms in right hand side? 2. Then what I have to do now? To make it 6. So what I will do? I will balance this 2 and I will balance 3. So I want my nitrate to be balanced. Now how many barium atoms are there over here? 1. How many barium atoms are there over here?
3.
3.
So 1 into 3. So barium is balanced. Then how many aluminium atoms are there? 2. Left hand
2.
side.
2.
Over here,
1.
1.
1.
So 1 into 2, 2. Aluminium got balanced. Now, how many chlorine atoms are there in left hand side?
Ma'am, 3.
3 into 2, 6. And right hand side, 2
6.
into 3, 6. So my chlorine got balanced. Okay, is this clear? Please copy down this and then I'm going to give you one equation to do it on your own. Please copy down this. So the lesson, formula wrong, balancing wrong. Okay, so first as we have to do the polyatomic ions. So over here there are 2 polyatomic ions. Over here there are 2 polyatomic ions. So first we'll go for phosphates. So over here, so now since if you have a hang of it, you do not have to do rough work, that's okay. So phosphate, there are 2 entities and over here there is only 1. So I'm going to make it 2 over here. Okay. Then moving on to the next one, sulfate. How many sulfate entities are there? 1. Over here also it's going to be 1. Then going on to once again the metal, which is calcium. Now over here, how many calcium atoms are there? 3 left hand side, right hand side, 1. So I have to put 3 over here. Potassium, left hand side 2, right hand side 6. So I have to make it 3. Now what I have to do, I have to check once again. So I'm going to check once again. 3 twos are 6. 6 potassium. Over here also 3 twos are 6. So potassium 6 and 6. Yes, it is balanced. Sulfate as a whole entity is total 3. Over here also sulfate as a whole entity is 3. So yes, it is balanced. Calcium 3. Over here also calcium 3. So yes, it's balanced. Phosphate 2 and over here 2 phosphate. So it is 3K2SO4 plus Ca3PO4 twice, 2K3O4, K3PO4, 3CaSO4. Any doubt in question number 1? Everybody has.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Let's go for question number 2. So ammonium 2, ammonium it's 1, so I'm going to make it 2. Nitrate 1, nitrate now becomes 2, so I'm going to put it 2 over here. Then we have carbonate, carbonate 1, carbonate 1, Li2, Li2. So it is balanced. So once again, the balancing, final balancing is NaH4 twice CO3. So 1 NH4 twice CO3 plus 2 LiNO3. So 2 LiNO3 giving you Li2NO, Li2CO3 and 2 NH4NO3. In second question, any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And the last one. Talking about OH. OH over here it's 2, OH over here it's 3. So 2 and 3 we need to take LCM, which I need to make it 6. So I'm going to make this as 3 and this as 2. So with this OH total becomes 6 on left hand side and right hand side becomes 6. So OH is balanced. Then going on to the next, that is metal. Metal over here, if we talk about aluminium, aluminium is 1, aluminium is 2 over here. So I'm going to put it 2. So 2 and 2 got balanced. Then magnesium. Magnesium is 3 over here and magnesium is 1 over here. So I'm going to make it 3. So 3 and 3 balance. And finally the chlorine. 3 twos are 6. 3 twos are 6. So both are balanced. So it is 3 MgOH twice plus 2 AlCl3 gives 2 AlOH thrice plus 3 MgCl2. So is this third one correct? Anybody is having any doubts?
No, ma'am. No doubt.
Sure. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
So now let us go for the next question, where you don't have polyatomic ions, but you have only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So balancing. So next question. Let's say I have CH4 plus O2 giving me CO2 plus H2O. And another question as C2H6 plus O2 giving me CO2 plus H2O. Now, whenever you have such questions where there is no metals, no non-metals, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So order of balancing has to be carbon, then hydrogen, and then oxygen. So first we'll balance carbon. How many carbon atoms in left-hand side? 1. How many carbon atoms right-hand side? 1. So carbon 1 and 1, which means my carbon is balanced, right? Hydrogen. How many hydrogens are there? 4. Left-hand side 4. Right-hand side? Right-hand side? 2. So 2 into 2, I need to make it 4. So I'm going to put it 2 over here. So my hydrogen is balanced. Finally, the oxygen. How many oxygens in left-hand side? 2. Or right-hand side? Right-hand side?
4.
4. This 2 plus this 2. So it is 4. Now I need to make oxygen 4. So I'm going to multiply this with 2 to make it. So this is CH4 plus 2O2 gives CO2 plus 2H2O. So this was simple. But let us go to the next one. How many carbon atoms in the left-hand side? How many carbon atoms left-hand side?
2.
2.
2.
And right-hand side?
1.
1.
So 1 into 2, 2. Hydrogen, how many hydrogen atoms?
6.
6.
6. Over here?
2.
2.
So 2 into 3? 6. Now oxygen. Oxygen left hand side में कितने हैं? How many oxygen atoms?
2,
2. And
Two.
right hand side में?
3,
नहीं.
5.
2
5.
2s are 4. 4 plus 3. Not even 5. 2 2s are 4. And over here 3. So how many are there?
7.
Is oxygen balanced?
No.
ma'am.
So then what will you do?
Miss, I think you can like put 6 in H2O on the product side.
6 H2O. So can I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
my, so how, if I put 6, then don't you think it will become 10? And then my hydrogen will also change.
Yes, miss. So like in the reactant side also you can add one more number.
Okay, but wait, one second. If you are saying, so you are saying that we have to erase this and we have to put 6.
Yes.
So how many
That will make it
oxygen will,
12.
that will make it
So
12?
in the,
No, that will make it 10, right? That will make it 10. Yes, Aaron, that's
oh
correct.
miss, for the oxygen.
Hmm.
Then for the reactant side, before the oxygen, you can put 5.
ठीक है, okay. Then
And then since hydrogen is now 12
I
in
have to
the
put 2
product
over
side,
here.
it will be-
2.
yes.
So now my carbon also changes. I have to put it 4. So my oxygen
Okay,
also
the
gets
oxygen.
changed. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you what you are supposed to do. Okay. So till here, what we were doing was correct, that 2 carbon and 3 this. Now oxygen, one side is 2 and one side is 7. Now, if you have one side 2 and one side 7, what you will be doing is, now there are 2 methods. Number 1, to make it 2 as 7 means a odd number. Suppose, let's say if it was 6. If it was 6, what you would have multiplied?
3.
3. But now it is not 6, it is 7. So if you want to make it 7, can I say I can multiply this with 3.5? Is this correct or not? Means, am I getting 7 atoms of oxygen? Yes,
Yes.
or no? Yes. So this is method 1. Means you will just put 3.5 or 7 by 2. You can also put fraction either 3.5 or 2 into 7 by 2. You can put a decimal or a fraction. Or if they ask you to write the equation in whole number, okay, whole number. So what you have to do now, you have to make 3.5 as 7. But if you will just make 3.5 as 7, don't you think all other compounds will also change? So what you have to do? This is method 1, where you can keep this equation as it is. The second method is, write the equation again, C2H6 plus O2 giving CO2 plus H2O, and multiply this whole equation with 2. So if I'm multiplying the whole equation with 2, can I say that in front of C2H6, I'm going to put 2? Yes.
Yes.
Now, in front of O2, what I will put? 7, because 3.5 into 2 will become 7. What will this become? Can I say it will become 4? And what will this become? 6. So either you can write it in the decimal form or you can write it in this whole number form. Just copy this and I'll be back in 1 minute. Please copy. So now it is C4H10. So how many carbon atoms are there in left hand side? 4.
Ma'am, 4.
4.
Right hand side? 1.
1.
So I'm going to put 4. So my carbon 4 and 4 is balanced. Then hydrogen. Hydrogens are 10, 2. So 2 into 5, which is 10. So my hydrogen is also balanced. Oxygen. Left hand side is 2 and right hand side is 4 2s are 8 plus 5, which is 13. Now I want to make 2 as 13. So there are two options. Either I can write 6.5 or I can write 13 by 2. So either you keep the equation as it is, that C4H10 13 by 2 or 6.5 gives 4 CO2 plus H2O, or what is my another method? What is my another way? Writing after
The
this
whole
and
number.
putting it in whole numbers. So this whole equation multiply by 2. So I'm going to get 2 C4H10 plus 13 O2 giving us 8 CO2 plus 10 H2O. Remember, this method is most preferred. You will see your balancing equation will be in whole numbers. So avoid writing it in decimals or fractions. Okay? Avoid writing it in decimals or fractions. So your final answer will be 2C4H10 giving you 13O2 gives 8CO2 plus 10H2O. Any doubts in this one? Any doubts? Everybody done? Okay, let's go to the last one. C1, C1, so it's balanced, H4, H2, so 2H2O. Oxygen is 2 and 1, 3. So either I'm going to put 3 by 2. After writing this, I'm going to multiply this equation by 2. So what I'm going to get? What is my final answer? What will be my final answer? Yes, what will be my final answer?
2CH4
Yes,
plus uh,
3O2 giving us 2CO plus 4H2O. Everybody is getting the same answer. Is everybody getting the same answer? Yes, everybody getting the same answer.
Yes, ma'am. I did the first one, but
हाँ ठीक है, but as I told you, Charvi, generally the I mean not in like your 11, definitely they can accept your 10, your 11 board exam accept fractions, but it depends on schools also. So better to write it in whole number. Okay, it's not wrong. I'm telling you, it's not wrong, but better to write it in whole number. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, so is this done? Everybody understood how to balance the equations. So when we meet next week, I will be giving you word equation, and that word equation we need to balance it. So that will be the practice of equation. So balance, I mean, remember the valency chart. That will be your assignment. And also I have given that worksheet. Try to submit it by tomorrow. Okay, you can email it to me. You can email it in PDF. Yes, yes, yes.
I already finished the worksheet. How do I submit it?
You can scan the worksheet in PDF format and you can send it on my email. I have given the email ID.
I'm adding a friend. Okay.
Yes, I have given the email ID. So put it in PDF format or scan it and send it to me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So with this, we'll end the session for today. Thank you very much. Have a nice week. Have a great day and see you next week.
Bye.